know, Cosette, I really enjoy hanging out in my lamp here with you, and I love that you send me on enchanted journeys on a magic carpet to share stories with our friends. Speaking of our friends, look, they've popped into our lamp again. Hi, friends. Welcome to Cosette's Enchanted Journeys. I was just taking a minute to tell Cosette how much I appreciate her. She's a really good friend to me. She always sends me on really fun adventures off into special places to share stories with some of my other friends, like you. So I just wanted her to know how much I appreciate her and how special she is to me. She reminds me of a story that I would like to share with you today about appreciating the things around us or the people around us, and how just spending time together is a wonderful thing to do. Would you like to go on an enchanted journey with me now and read a wonderful story? Okay, I hope you know what to do. If not, don't worry, we can do it together. Rub our hands together and say, I wish to go on an enchanted journey, and away we'll go. I wish to go on an enchanted journey. Isn't this a beautiful tree and a beautiful place to sit and read a story all about a tree? This one's called The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein. Once there was a tree, and she loved a little boy. And every day the boy would come and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns and play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk and swing from her branches and eat apples, and they would play hide and go seek. And when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade. And the boy loved the tree very much, and the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older, and the tree was often alone. Then one day, the boy came to the tree, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb up my trunk, and swing from my branches, and eat apples, and play in my shade, and be happy." "I am too big to climb and play," said the boy. "I want to buy things and have fun. I want some money. Can you give me some money?" "I'm sorry," said the tree, "but I have no money. I have only leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy, and sell them in the city. Then you will have money and you will be happy." And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away for a long time, and the tree was sad. And then one day the boy came back, and the tree shook with joy, and she said, "Come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy." "I am too busy to climb trees," said the boy. "I want a house to keep me warm," he said. "I want a wife, and I want children, so I need a house. Can you give me a house?" "I have no house," said the tree. "The forest is my house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy." And so the boy cut off her branches and carried them away to build his house. And the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away a long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. "Come, boy," she whispered, "come and play." "I am too old and too sad to play," said the boy. "I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat?" "Cut down my trunk and make a boat," said the tree. "Then you can sail away and be happy." And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away. And the tree was happy, but not really. After a long time, the boy came back again. "I am sorry, boy," said the tree, "but I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone." "My teeth are too weak for apples," said the boy. "My branches are gone," said the tree. "You cannot swing on them." "I am too old to swing on branches," said the boy. "My trunk is gone," said the tree. "You cannot climb." "I am too tired to climb," said the boy. "I am sorry," sighed the tree. "I wish that I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I am just an old stump. I am sorry." "I don't need very much now," said the boy. "Just a quiet place to sit and rest. I am very tired." "Well," said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could, "well, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come, boy, sit down and rest." And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. Wow. I really love the story of the giving tree, though it makes me feel a little bit sad. Sometimes stories, when they have happy and beautiful messages, can sometimes have a little bit of a sad message too. This generous tree just wanted to keep giving and giving and giving back to this boy as he grew and as his needs and wants changed. And she just kept giving all the way up until the very end. And it was a special relationship they had. And I just think that's a really wonderful story. Do you like to give back to people that take care of you? Do you have a parent or a special friend that does nice things to make sure that you're happy? Yeah, I do too. And I like to give back to them and let them know how much I appreciate it. And I have an activity for us to do today that's kind of a way of us giving back a little bit. I thought it would be really special, since we read all about a giving tree, if we built a special birdhouse that we could put in one of our trees in our yard, or even in a windowsill if we can't hang it outside, and we could give back to some animals in our backyards and give back to our trees and make them look a little pretty and special. What do you think? Does that sound like fun to you? I'm going to put up a list of the things that we're going to use, and you can run around and grab them up, and together we can build a birdhouse. Let's go do that now. I have saved this milk carton, and I have washed it out, cleaned it, let it dry, and I'm going to use this to make my birdhouse. You can use a milk carton or a jug of some kind. Anything like that would work to make your birdhouse. This will work nicely. I've gathered up some paints that I'm going to use to paint my birdhouse with, because the first step we're going to do is cover the whole milk carton with paint so it doesn't look like a milk carton. If you don't want to use paint, you can use pictures from a magazine. Those would work really nice. You could cover this whole thing in pictures, and then we can cover it up with a nice safe glue, like a Mod Podge. You could even probably tape it around if you wanted to. That would work okay as well. You can do a combination. You can paint and add some stickers over the top when the paint's dry, or some cuttings from magazines over the top. I'm going to just use paint to cover mine, and you'll need some scissors, because once the paint's dry, we're going to cut a hole for the birds to go in, and we're also going to add a perch with another hole, and that's where we'll put a stick in for them to perch on, land on before they climb into your birdhouse. So you're going to need some scissors or something else to make a hole in your carton with. And then you're going to need some string for the end of the project. We're going to hang this from a tree branch. Now, if you're going to put yours outside and use it for real birds, you're going to need a clear seal to put over the top so that it weatherproofs your carton and you can put it outside. You'll probably need an adult to help you with that. If you want to just decorate it and maybe hang it in your room, which is what I think I might do, you don't have to seal it because it's not going to be outside in the weather. So that step is completely up to you and how you intend to use your birdhouse. So the very first thing is I'm going to paint the whole carton in a color, a base color, and then I'm going to put creative things over the top of it. Okay, you can see that I've got my first coat of purple, and it covered pretty well, but I can still see a lot of the label information underneath that coat. So I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to apply a second coat of color. If you used a deeper or darker color, you may not have to do that. Once your base color is dry on your birdhouse, like mine, that's nice and dry, you can start painting other things or adding your stickers or decorating this in any way that you'd like. You can see I'm just going around my birdhouse. I'm just kind of painting some green leaves and some green vines that I'm going to have my flowers hang down on. When I'm happy with my vines that wrap around. I'm gonna start making some flower details, some petals. You may need to let your different layers of paint dry before continuing on to this step. I still have a little bit of wet green, so I need to be really careful as I add in and around that so that I don't smudge that or smear that where I don't want it. If you don't enjoy painting, remember you can add stickers, or you can draw, or you can use a pen or a marker to design your box however you want. You can just put some pretty paper over it. You don't have to paint. When you're pretty happy with your birdhouse, you can stop painting and let it dry. So I've covered all 4 sides. I've got hanging flowers. I got flowers popping up from the ground below in various colors. So I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that dry before we do the next step. When your paint is dry on your birdhouse, you're ready to add a door. So you can do that on any of the sides that you prefer. Doesn't matter, but I would recommend you do it on either the front or the back of where the carton comes to a close, so when it hangs it'll be facing your direction. So I'm going to put mine here in the front. I've decided the side with the bottle cap is the front of my birdhouse, so I'm going to do that now. And to do that, you want kind of like a 2-inch circle around the birdhouse. So I'm going to put mine right here. I'm going to use the bottom of this glass jar that I use to put my paintbrushes in to rinse off, and I'm going to trace around it, and then I'm going to cut that out. So you can do that too. You can see my circle. Now, if you have a utility knife, like a box cutter or an X-Acto knife, and you have an adult that can help you with that, that works great. If you have to use scissors to puncture a hole and then cut it out, you can also do that. But you're gonna go ahead and cut this out next. When you finish cutting with scissors, you might have some ragged edges. You can try and clean those up a little bit with the help of a parent with that X-Acto knife blade or a box cutting tool, or if they want to use a knife just to smooth those out, you can try and smooth those out. You have your hole cut out. The next thing you're going to do is puncture a small hole underneath where the birds will go in and out, so you can put a stick through here, and that can be their perch. You can use your scissors for this. Again, this definitely doesn't need to be perfect because you're just going to be putting a stick through it. But leave yourself some space so that when you put a hole here, it doesn't rip into your bird hole. So I'm going to put it a couple inches below, and I'm just going to take my time and kind of wiggle my scissors around until the scissors go through the box. And I'm not going to clean it up too much right now. I'm going to see what size branch I can put in there first, and then I can make the hole a little wider if I need to. So for this step, you can just go out in your yard and find a stick and break a piece off to make your perch for your bird. I found this pretty decent size, pretty thick. It's about 1 inch thick, and it's pretty solid, so it should be able to push that right in there, and the bird would be able to perch on there. I picked a branch that had a little bit of a knot on it still. You see this little knot here? That way it won't push in all the way, and it gives the birds a nice sturdy perch. I can push down on my finger and it's not going anywhere. Once you've cut the hole for the birds to enter and you've got your perch for the birdhouse, you can add some holes at the bottom for some ventilation. You can use your utility knife to do that as well, or you can use your scissors just to poke a few holes that will allow any excess water that gets in there to drain out, or any bird dropping stuff like that can drop through the holes. So you can go ahead and do that now. They don't have to be very big. They don't have to have a lot, just a few so that stuff could drain out. Now, before we do the next step, which is to poke a hole and hang this with a string, you'll want to take your perch back out of your birdhouse, and you want to cover this with clear sealant if you want to use this outside. That way none of your paint will get ruined, and your cardboard, styrofoam container that you use to make your birdhouse won't get ruined by rain. Otherwise this will disintegrate without that. So if you want to do that, you'll cover this with a clear sealant, and you'll ask a parent to help you with that. And when that's done, you can put your perch back in and we can hang this up. But let's go ahead and clear seal it now if you would like to. And when you're done, we'll go ahead and put a hole through the top on this side of the carton and one on this top side so that we can feed our string through to hang it. I'm going to go ahead and show you that hanging step now. So again, with your utility knife, if you can use one of those with a parent or an adult's help, you can poke a hole on each side, or you can use your scissors again. With a pokey edge, you can poke a hole through. So go ahead and do that now. Once you have your holes poked at the top of your carton on each side, you're going to want to thread some string through here. Either use some light rope if you have it available. You can use a couple pieces of yarn, but do know that as they are out in the weather frequently, they will fray over time. So if you can use a better rope, that would be better. Feeding the yarn or rope through can be a little tricky, so here's a tip I have. If you take a pencil and tape your rope or yarn to the pencil, you can then push the pencil through all the way and then take the tape off of the pencil and your yarn will be through. Once the pencil's through, you can take the tape off. If you just use some Scotch tape, it won't get too stuck on there. I had packaging tape. So this part, you can make the rope or string as long as you'd like it so that it can hang pretty far off of a branch or closer to the branch. You can check your branch in the tree you think you're going to hang it from and decide on a placement and have an adult help you decide on the length, and then you guys can tie it up together. Be a nice project to do together is pick a spot to hang your birdhouse. And there you have it, your very own birdhouse that you can hang in the house or in the yard, wherever you see fit, and enjoy. And you're giving something back to your animal friends outside and to your tree and beautifying where you live. Thank you again for coming on another Enchanted journey with me. I really had a great time reading The Giving Tree by Shel Silverstein with you and making our very own birdhouse that we can give back to our tree and maybe have some bird friends come and visit us in our own yards. Isn't that great? I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you were able to make it, and I hope you continue to use your imagination and creativity to make other projects and do other things to give back to your friends and family or to the creatures in your neighborhood, and that you'll just continue to read and be inspired and play and have fun. And I really hope that you'll come back and visit Cosette and myself again soon. Until then, we'll see you later. Bye!